Hello, welcome to our FD channel. So today I'm going to do an update for the movie Detective Pikachu and also talking about a possible sequel and some article to talk about actually the box office that is interesting to know. First of all, the box office. I'm a little bit late on the news. This one is on the 17th of May and is from Forbes.com. The writer from Scott Mendelson that's talking about box office Pokemon Detective Pikachu tops 200 million worldwide. Actually, this article is about they trying to dissect what discuss and analysis of the movie and why the world tops 200 this weekend. And interestingly enough, it's compared to the past other movie from the games movie that's been out like Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider, and Prince of Persia. And as you know, Tomb Raider in 2001 still have the biggest box office for this genre of movie, and is what 131 millions, I guess, is from um, the US market, local domestic market. And right now, we'll see if Pokemon Detective Pikachu will do better because right now it's only, well, not right now, I'm sorry. It will do will go to Box Office Mojo and we will see how it goes. And if it's getting surpass of 131 million, that will be a great, um, which I don't know if I don't know if it will be possible, but we'll see about that. And also they talking about, in the article about all the movies in general and total global, like Warcraft that make a very good amount of money at 433 million, Rampage, uh, and we'll see how it goes with the video games movies. Actually, it's more video slash manga anime movie. And not only video games, but they have other things that has been out. Then let's go to the box office module of Detective Pikachu. As you can see here, domestically is doing good. It's 94 million dollars. This is estimate number. It's not exactly accurate. Probably in Monday or Tuesday we will have a right number. And right now the estimated foreign number two is 112.4 million with a total worldwide of 206.4 million, which is very good because the worldwide all interest enough in this movie, and we can even see this weekend estimate that will be from 54 to 24.8. So if that still is accurate, after estimate, it's still around 54% decreasing. As you know, when a movie from every weeks after the first release usually go down by around 50%, and if they do, that's good. Usually it's go around 50%. That means it's a good legs for this movie. It's go higher 50%, or like 70 60 percent of a decrease, then that's not showing good for the long term of the movie. Actually, they call that legs of the movie. And even the article before, they're talking about the legs of this movie. If this does still continue with around 50%, that's a good thing. So let's go to check about the article. Here I want to point out this is Global Times. I believe Global Time point CN probably a China article, not article but website. And as you can see, Detective Conan is still leading in the box office, and is still at 23.4 millions over there in China. So it looks promising, and in Asia. And one thing I want to point out also for last week at Detective Pikachu, in the first week, you have less theaters viewing than the third week of Adventure Aim Games. So, as you know, probably it's monopolizing, Disney is monopolizing the theaters with all the viewing, not viewing, I'm sorry, the movies. So that explains a little bit why Detective Pikachu doing less expected if you don't have enough times. And even here locally, I don't have any IMAX of this, not enough, maybe a very rare few theaters showing IMAX. All the IMAX is for Avengers, even though it is the third weeks, and Detective Pikachu should be in IMAX and 3Ds. And even the 3Ds is it's not that easy to find for this movie. So I think that plays a lot on this movie's box office and pull it down with you know the budgets, the box office. If it were in another time, then later, perhaps later on, when Avenger a little bit finish, so probably this movie will do much better than what it's been, in the U.S. and worldwide. Anyhow, this is my thought, but could be different. Okay, let's go to this article. Okay, let me just try to close this ads up. It's terrible. All these websites have so much ad. Um, okay, from the website gamefragger.com, they talk about possible sequels to the movie. All right, I succeed to close the ad. So this is not something new. I think it's a little bit late. Also, it's the 18th of yesterday of May, and you talk about there's not a sequel exactly, but a development for the sequel of this movie. So Legendary already started to develop a sequel for this movie, or thinking about it, or writing about it. And as you know, in the movie, it's a good movie that is have a start and an end and a conclusion. So I don't know if they do a sequel, it will be the same character or the same universe with Pikachu, Ryan Reynolds, and well, probably yes, but with the same all the same characters. We'll see about that. And let's go down a little bit. So exactly, this article is talking about Pikachu released on first week and opening rank at 54 million at the box office and 175 million worldwide. Impressive numbers. I thought they most likely would have been larger if not for Avengers Endgame release nearby. I think it's right though, because of Endgames have so many theaters and viewing take over almost all the theaters, even though I'm in the North America. Um, so that plays a lot. And and obviously you see here they take from comicbook.com this that about the sequel that is starting to write the sequel about it for this movie. So interesting to know that. All right, let's go to another article. This one. All right, this article is from animemojo.com, and they're talking about the movie sequel, possible sequel to the Pokemon movie. And I think they're taking the same source. The source is from Game Fragger, and from Game Fragger from comicbook.com. And a little bit the same thing, they're reviewing the movie, the success of the movie, and since it's successful, they will do a sequel, and they're starting to write, or actually, a legendary movie will do, starting to work on the sequel of Pikachu 2. So it's a little bit the same as the previous article. So, okay, let's go back to another article. It's from CBR.com, and it's interesting articles written by Ruben Barron. Detective Pikachu is the most millennial blockbuster. Interesting analysis. I just go through, you know, rapidly. There's a real generation divide when looking for the critical response to Detective Pikachu. Critics, critics under the age of 35 or so don't universally love the movie, but they can say they get it. Let's go a little bit further down. They don't need to the movie to explain what a Pokemon is and is and if they had any issues with the franchise bizarre, kid-friendly, cockfighting premises. They already make those jokes a billion times over the past 23 years. So actually, the article talk about the different generations of these movies that has been a while now because this movie is not movie but this uh, Pokemon is been out since the 90s and it's pretty popular around everybody actually even as you know if you remember Pokemon Go was wildly games was so popular at that time. Everybody knows, like adult, children, kids, teenager, everyone was onto that game. Pokemon Go, it was really a game changer since it's well, game changer. I mean, it was so fun that people were so much hooked into it, and everybody, not only kids, everybody. And from I remember the group of person, different ages. So it's not only about people that in 90s, but the this is all around all different ages. It's been know who the Pokemon is. So this is so popular that around the world actually that nobody, if you talk to anybody, anybody can know what is Pokemon is. I mean, I think from that game is was really well advertised and hype, so that around the world know what is Pokemon is. And interesting enough, they talk about other movie that people try, well, not people, but Hollywood try to do to catch the, nostalgia of the each generations. Like they try to make other movies like in the 80s, Transformers. Um, Example in the 80s. So when they do that, it's more that people in that generations is going to see these movies for the nostalgia times of the 80s. And not only that, Star Trek, Star Wars, so different generations about for Lord of the Ring, even Lord of the Rings. So interesting enough. So I'm gonna read this sentences. Of course, plenty of blockbuster are made for the fans and presume at least some background knowledge. For an extreme example, imagine watching Avenger Endgame without having seen any other Marvel movies or read any comics. The big difference between Detective Pikachu and most other blockbusters is that the latter relied heavily on the nostalgia and of baby boomers and Gen Xers. Superman and Batman have been pop culture mainstays since the late 1930s, Captain America and Wonder Woman since the 40s, Lord of the Rings since the 50s, Star Trek and the main Marvel universe since the 60s, Star Wars since the 70s, Transformers since the 80s. In contrast, it's still a rarity for the major release like Detective Pikachu to be targeted so squarely at the nostalgia of millennials. So, are you this person who watch a movie for nostalgia? You can comment below because for me is more because I know this since a while. Yes, I have a little bit of nostalgia, but I was high because all these attentions from the game that I played a few years back then. um, than anything else. I think it's since that game, I've been hooked up more than before about Pokemon because, to be honest, I'm not really into the anime. I was seeing the first season, but then I didn't like the character actually, Ash. Some people do like him, but I don't, and that's why I just stopped watching because of that. But perhaps the other generations all love it, and I know some generation, the younger generation, love the Pikachu. And even when you go to Otakuton or any these kind of conventions, people are just wild, I should say, about Pokemon because most of them, even teenager, knows this pretty well. And I already said in the previous video that in Japan is very well known and is a little bit everywhere in Asia, Pokemon centers and products actually. Even the airport in Asia, you have them. So it's widely known. And that's it for this video. I hope that you like and comments below if what you think about the nostalgia of this article. Do you think is right that you watch the movie for that? And also the sequel, what are you expecting from the sequels? What do you think that can happen to the sequel? So comments below. So if you like, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribes, and also share if otherwise don't forget to click the notification button. Thank you and have a wonderful day.